that are very own. The other is former.
Them back in the day, is that correct?
Yeah. Go.
Okay. Yeah.
By 1935, the Golden Gate piers were poured, towers and anchors completed, as work began on spinning the cables that would hold up the span. The work had been tricky all along, working at heights of 760 feet above the bay or 100 feet below.
Highest I ever been was a 2-story house, probably. So when I first started climbing up there, when we got up above, the riveters had, the heaters had cages that they on the outside of the tower, and as they went up, they raised those cages. Then they had 2x12 board across from one cage to the other. Well, we used to have to walk them boards with 100 pounds of rivets in your hand, and no handrails, and the thing would go like this, you know. Look down, you could barely see the rocks.
It had to be done, that was your job, so you went ahead and done it. Just like on the Golden Gate Bridge. You'd be working on that Golden Gate Bridge up there, and you'd go out to work in the morning, and the drops of fog would be as big as your finger, and you couldn't see the roadway. But you'd go up in that skip and ride that skip up to where you was working, the sun would be shining just like it is out there now. Warm, take your coats off, work around your shirt sleeves. So there was the difference, see? You didn't know what was going to be up there. It might be foggy up there, and it'd be damp and everything down below.
They were working out there when there was ice. I have pictures of icicles.
You've seen me in the movies. You've caught me on TV. People come from everywhere to pose on top of me. And even though I'm aging, I've held up beautifully, considering what I've been through and what has been through me. You can ride me fast, ride me slow, use me to get to where you wanna go, but you can't live without me. The Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, you can run me down until I get congested, exceed my limits till you get arrested, but you can't do without me. The Golden Gate Bridge. And if I'm in a fog or maybe feeling misty, how should any broad who's over 66 be? Day in and day out, I'm being overextended. And what do I get in return? I get suspended. I can't even visit my brother in Brooklyn. Well, you can say I need some nips and tucks. You can say that I ain't worth $5, but you can't live without me. The Golden Gate Bridge. Listen, I assure you, I ain't worth a dime. You laugh. When was the last time you had guys in hard hats crawling all over you? And the fairies, they love me. I can't deny the years have taken their toll. Though I'm on the fast track, I'm still in the hole. If I only had a nickel for every screw, or for every time I've been proposed on, but not to, then tell me I put up too many barriers. You can't tell my age when I'm properly lit. Though I'm built rather large, I'm very seismically fit. I must admit, I could use some joint-ritis. Oh, my garter's killing me. Oh, oy vey. Whether your load is wide or teeny-weeny, whether you are a Hyundai or a Lamborghini, you can't possibly do without me, honey. Not even a smidge. steel, sex appeal aplenty. I give all the other bridges cockiness and me. I'm your 420,000 tons of fun. The Golden Gate Bridge. I think I'll put on my orange cones and do the shimmy. You'll be riveted. Thank you, ironworkers everywhere. Woo! The Golden Gate Bridge.
The commemoration of the Golden Gate Bridge 75th anniversary. I'm Steve Zeltzer, and this is an historic occasion. 75 years ago, workers had completed the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was a 100% union job. So let's and especially today when workers are fighting for unions, and even the IBU, ILWU bridge workers still don't have a contract. We've got to remember that the struggle then is still going on today.
I've been told, Golden Gate just ain't got soul. Am I right or wrong?
35 terminal assistants represented by the Inland Boatmen's Union, along with other sympathetic employees, walked off the job yesterday. They protested wages and working conditions.
The bridge is a beautiful structure. You know, it was all built union labor, and we should be celebrating union labor, but these negotiations for our coalition as well as for our folks have been really difficult.
Well, the Golden Gate Bridge District says Governor Brown is going to appoint a 3-member board to investigate the strike, claiming it created a significant disruption to public service. Sources tell KTVU the union and the district start mediation on Tuesday.
In the way, we're gonna roll right over him. Roll right over him. Roll right over him. And if the boss gets in the way, we're gonna roll right over him. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Get in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. Roll right over them. Roll right over them. And if the scabs get in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. Gonna roll. Gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. We're gonna roll. Gonna roll. We're gonna get in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. Roll right over them. Roll right over them. And if the banks get in the way, we're gonna roll right over them. Roll the union on. Gonna roll. Gonna roll. Gonna roll. Gonna roll. Roll the union on. We're gonna roll. Gonna roll. Gonna roll.
carpenters all had long-standing unions. Electricians, heavy equipment operators, even elevator engineers did not wait long to form unions of their own. When work began on the pier footings for the bridge towers, the men decided to push for 100% union contract, and they got it.
Well, ironworkers come up, we're all 100%. And when ironworkers and everyone, we talked to all the people, said, all these out, we're 100%, why don't you fellas join too and make it 100% all the way around? And it worked. We all joined. Besides, he says, we better join them. Ironworkers up above us, they'll drop something on you, you know? But anyway, to me, talking about the union now, to me, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
With the union contract, men no longer worked out of a shape-up, but were dispatched from union halls. In fact, so many men were sent to the job that some unions, like the operating engineers, had to set up dispatch halls for the first time. And they knew the men they worked with had the skills to get the job done. On the other bridge, the Bay Bridge, it was more a mixed bag. Both union and non-union workers.
The Golden Gate Bridge was union, but the Bay Bridge was not. They hire anybody on the Bay Bridge, and they had some trouble with that. They hired some so-called iron workers, and they got up there and froze, and boy, they had to rescue them from way up there. It was really comical. But the old timers around there, boy, they were hot as hell because they had to do that with some of the poor help that they hired.
As certain as the sun will rise and politicians are lionized, sure as suffering multiplies, the rich will never be poor. Certain as in life you learn the rich have money and time to burn, the rich will counsel you wait your turn, in heaven you'll get some more. Sure as poverty plagues the land, the rich will give you a helping hand, soon as mountains return to sand and oceans leave the shore. Count on nothing in life so well that if the rich go straight to hell, lots of something they buy and sell, they'll never enter the door. Sure, it's like, no, certainly all that you need in life to be at peace in a world of strife, the company of a man or wife and lots of money in store. Life is simple and so complete with faithful friends and some bread to eat, a solid roof in a room with heat and stocks and bonds galore. The rich will probably tell you nay, it's in the riches that really pay. The rich have always got lots to say as they watch their assets soar. Count on nothing in life so plain, the poor I've watered, the rich champagne. The market rises to this refrain, the rich will never be poor, the rich will never be poor. Sure, rich life is a strange affair in need of some robust repair. The rich don't actually have to care, the rich will never be poor. Maybe people are all the same, but the rich are playing a different game. Take your chances and take your aim, you'll never even the score. The rich can't help it if life's unfair, the rich are people, they really care. They often mention it's hard to bear, they're burdened at their core. That's right, burdened at their core. Some say no, but it's plain to see, the rich are different than you and me. The rich are different as they can be. The rich will never be poor. The rich will never be poor. The rich will never be poor. The rich will never be poor.
Don't make me do it! Wait, hold on, hold your thought.
I heard that years ago. That's the Ironworkers.
1, 2. Stand back. Stand back. Check. law. Fast track through Congress with only hours of debate. We've ceded our authority in the blink of an eye to a group of corporations that have purchased the right. They call it free trade. I'll tell you what that means. You can have your unions here, but the factories overseas, putting poisons in the water, paying pennies, being sold down the river. The WTO sold down the river, sold down the river, sold down the river. The WTO, the meeting in Seattle to plan the next century. And we need to be there in the streets when the size of corporations exceeds the finances of nations. The democratic process cannot compete. They call it free trade. I'll tell you what that means. Your health and safety laws, democratically made, can be challenged from abroad. As barriers to foreign trade were being sold down the river. The WTO sold down the river, sold down the river, sold down the river. WTO.
1.2 million rivets. They were hot rivets put in there with ironworkers. There was no nice ground here. There wasn't no girls to talk to back then. Yeah. You got your pole force, you got you paid $11 a day on that. Okay, it's an 8-hour day. Up in the center there, and you're looking for exact color. The color is orange, red, or it's going to be when you know the color is slightly different. That's real hot. This is exactly what that hard work right there. All right. A good tip. Got a plate right behind. Let's stand back. A plate. We're going to do it.